and mentor to me, and today we're talking all about her special spark, or several of them, in hopes that you feel inspired to really dive into yours. So this is Lacey. I'm going to let her introduce herself, besides the fact that she's a business mentor and success coach, and then we'll dive in.
Beautiful. So thank you so much for having me. It's so good to be doing this with you and doing it with you in person. That's so fun. So I am Lacey. I'm a business mentor and success coach, and my business is A Lit Up Life. And I am all about helping my clients make an income and an impact that gives them that lit up life.
I love it. So let's dive right into some of these questions. But why don't you tell someone who's like never met you for the first time, like what you feel like some of your special sauces and like how you uncovered that?
Yeah, definitely. So I think that for me, a couple things that come up around that are being willing to like do things differently or be innovative. Like I think, you know, a lot of things in this space shift. Like I've been doing this for 2 years now and when I first came in, there was like almost no one talking about do it your way, do your own thing. It was like all like follow my 5-step formula. And I think there's still some value in that. But I think having come from a background in nonprofit work, like one of the things that I focused on there was like re-engineering service delivery models. And so I noticed when I came here that I wanted to do it different. So I think just giving myself permission to do it differently has been like a part of that special spark.
Yes. I'm adding this question. Hey, we're here on part 2. We're actually in like a random park in Boston using like public Wi-Fi, which is A, amazing, but B, apparently a little unreliable.
Yeah. Also could have been B Live.
It could have also been B Live.
But either way, we're here and we're back.
Take 2. So I was asking you, how do you balance the support with also like not introducing a ton of voices that are gonna like take you back away from what you know you need to do next?
So I think that here's what I feel like I would do differently is I wouldn't have said, what do you think about this? I would have said, here's what I'm doing and here's how I would like you to support me.
Oh, wow. So being more direct about that.
Right? So like, hey, I'm doing this thing and it looks like this and I would like your support and cheering me on for that. Instead of like, hey, what do you think of this thing? Because what I actually wanted was cheerleading. I really didn't.
You knew, like, scary, like scared-sided.
Or I would have asked, like, so, like, if you're doing it differently, like, you might want to ask for specific feedback. So, like, I want feedback around this one piece of my idea instead of, like, hey, what do you think about it as a whole? Yeah. Like, I think that is a big piece, too. So, like, helping people, like, help me help you. Like, help them help you, right? Like,
which is so good just for life in general, right? Like, because I feel like our friends and hopefully the people that support us, like they want to help us.
Absolutely.
And so maybe we're giving them too wide of a window in which to like give that support.
Absolutely. And like, you know, when you're just saying, what do you think of this? Of course you're going to get feedback like that, right? So it's just like knowing what type of support you want to like grow your dream and build your idea instead of like casting too big of a net.
Love that. Oh my gosh. I'm just thinking about like all the different ways that applies to my life.
Oh my God. Same. I totally agree.
Beautiful. Okay, so let's let's say you already know the secret sauce, right? Like you know what it is, but maybe you're feeling afraid of like, is this gonna fit in, or is this the right thing, right? Like I have these 3 secret sauces, or how do you advise someone like take that first brave, courageous step, and maybe it's just to take the step, but on the other side of trying it?
So something that happened for me early on, and how this, I'm going to answer your question, but to provide a little context, was I started my business off super niche. So I did basically like content creation was sort of like what I talked about, what I coached around, and it just didn't fit all of me. Like I did not feel like I was fully expressing like what actually my secret sauce was. But I felt like when I looked at my secret sauce, it felt broad because I felt like it was actually bringing all these different pieces of business together. So what I ended up doing was creating a framework, which I now call like the MSE framework, which is mindset, strategy, and execution, which seems like a big net. But for me, putting those all together actually is my secret sauce, is like being able to combine those. So like not just helping you with strategy, but looking at the mindset behind it, not whatever. So for you, if you're feeling stuck in that place, I would say like, what's a framework you can put around your secret sauce, or what are like words you can put around it that don't feel like they're boxing you in, but that feel like, so I feel niched into mindset, strategy, and execution. So like thinking about like how can I explain my secret sauce to people in a way that feels easy to understand and work around it, but without feeling like you have to keep putting yourself into a box, right?
So good. I love that. And I love too, like we were talking about, like being able to give something a name, right?
Yes,
like being able to name something and let that thing be yours.
Exactly. Like when you name it, I think there's power in that, because I think it not only gives you that power to then like, my business completely shifted when I finally gave myself the permission and power to show up those things, and probably not even really any of the work I was doing, just how confident I felt about what I was expressing.
Yes. So good. I love that. So let's say someone is in a different scenario. Okay, I'm putting you in different scenarios. Let's say someone is in the space of they can't even name their thing because they don't even know what it is. They're like, I don't know what my special thing is, or I don't know what makes me distinctly different. Specifically someone in the online space. What's an exercise they might do to uncover that?
So I have two things that come to mind. One is like, one thing I talk about a lot is like lenses. So like, what's your lens? So I would say like, sometimes we try to go so big. Like, I have to say the most different thing I could possibly say, or like,
it's never been said by anyone on the earth.
Right, that no human has ever thought. And that feels like so much pressure. Like, I even like think about mindset, strategy, and execution. Like, everybody in the online space is saying that every day. It's fine, right? It's just like my lens through which I look at those things and consider those things. Yes. So, like, just start by being like, what is the thing I want to talk about but feel like I can't, or like everybody. Ask yourself like, what's your lens of that? Is it that like you bring this different piece to it, or you believe this piece? Like, one thing I love to have my clients do as an exercise for that is like write a list of like 20 things that piss you off in your industry. Mm-hmm. Which sounds silly because we don't like, we're kind of trained not to focus on the negative. But sometimes those are the things that show you the opportunity to shift and create a new lens, basically, right?
From a place that's authentic, right?
Exactly.
That it's like kind of uncovering like what you truly believe in and what does make you different.
Yep. And then I think the second thing, we actually did an exercise on our retreat that I thought is really helpful, which is like asking those that like you love and trust and feel like really see you, what like word they feel like captures you. And so we all shared words with each other that feel like capture us. And I think sometimes that really helps you uncover like not only how you see yourself, but like how the people around you are seeing your secrets too.
So good. In the like the freebie I actually made for this series, I have like questions that people their special spark, and one of them is, what's a compliment you always get that you ignore? Right?
That's a great
like
way
the
to
things
put it.
that like your friends and family are telling you and giving you feedback on, but you're like, oh well, that's just me. That's just normal. But it's totally not.
Yep, exactly. And like you'll start to see a pattern, right? Where like everybody is saying the same thing about me, like, and then you can start incorporating that more as a lens, right? Not like as now everyone's telling me I'm kind and generous, and now I have to figure out how to be totally different in that. Like, your secret sauce is that you are so heart-centered, like you capitalize on that as a lens, right? Not as in like, now I say this thing about being heart-centered that nobody's ever said.
It's just that it's already what I've been doing.
Yep, totally. I think that's exactly it. Like, you're already doing whatever your thing is.
Yes. Which is so much less pressure. It's more about like uncovering instead of like having to create something. And it's like probably if you're already like being visible, you're already creating it, right? Yep. You're already doing it with your clients. You're already writing about it. So that's a good assignment too, is even like just being able to look at the content you've already created. What are you writing about consistently? Like, what are you always coming back to? When something pisses you off in your industry, like what are you brain dumping? Like, what, like being able to like step outside, what's going on? Like with the MSC, you're like, oh, this isn't something brand new. Having to do this is
what I was already doing, right? I was just calling it coaching around content, and actually I was doing the MSC stuff. I just had to like put a name to it.
Yes,
I think that's exactly
so encouraging, and I feel like much less pressure, and it's sustainable, because if we like come up with this brand new thing that isn't really natural to us, then we're having to like not be ourselves, and it's going to stick with you.
lean into something. Like, I think there's a way in this space where it's like, to go all in and believe it fully and whatever. And like, when I created a lit up partnership, like, I tested it. Like, I was like, I have no idea if this is going to work, you guys. Like, I'm going to test it. I'm going to test it with 3 people. I'm going to see what it's like. And like, either way, I'm going to be happy. I'm just like proud of myself for trying a new thing. Instead of like, I'm going to change my whole business model. This is the only way I'm working with clients. Give yourself permission to lean into that thing that feels exciting without feeling like you just like burn the whole house down. You can kind of like light that candle and see what it feels like.
Maybe you want to start that new project, but you want to keep doing your other stuff too, like maintaining your other projects, or maybe if it's an income stream, like maintaining that income stream too.
Or like lean into a new message.
I love to see how your audience. Like you to launch huge course, like maybe a masterclass, right? Maybe you do a freebie, about some free stuff to see how that works with your audience. So giving yourself permission to do like a 1-hour teaching before you like
Shocking. But you don't. Like, you get to keep leaning into it because action breeds. Like, so the more lean into that and take action around it, the more clear it will become. All in clarity. I have like, life hack. It never will. You just have to keep leaning in, right?
Exactly. And bringing it back to your other point, like with other people's opinions, not everyone is always going to be on board. Right?
Totally.
So it's like not waiting for like the start line. Like, I feel perfectly confident and clear. Everyone around me is confirming this for me. Like, it doesn't happen like that.
No, and actually,
it's like the opposite.
No innovative idea that's ever actually changed anything has never starts with that ever.
You're fine.
I'm gonna get you. We're in park. It never starts with that. Like, it ever. Like, I know nobody that's like really made a difference or made their mark that started with everyone around them going, yes, great, and with you being like, yeah, I'm all in no matter what. You know what I mean? It just never does. I think that that's like something we don't talk about or give permission around enough.
Yeah, I agree. It's good. Permission for it to be like a little unclear, a little foggy, for you to come along the way.
Absolutely. While you're doing the steps, I think is the entrepreneurial path. Mm-hmm. Taking the step even when you're not perfectly clear, even when it feels scary, all of that is a journey.
Yes, absolutely. So good. So let us know if people want to follow you, if they're interested in what you're doing. I know you're doing a challenge right now. Tell us about that. How can they follow you?
So right now, starting today, I'm doing a challenge called the Innovation Incubator. And it's all about asking yourself questions that lead to innovation. Like, what are the questions you can ask yourself and look at to make waves, make changes, do things your own way? And you can find that at alituplife.com/innovation incubator.
I love that. So beautiful. Is there anything else that you have on your heart just around Special Spark, or that you, I don't know, want to add?
Yeah, I think like one thing I'll say really quick is like, this is something I noticed with like clients that I've worked with around this, is like, you don't think your special thing is special.
Yes.
Because it's so innate to you. Like, we were talking about this this weekend, where like sometimes it takes a while to discover that, because it just feels like it's like literally part of your DNA. There was somebody who we were writing her words on her board, and we forgot this like one important word, and we were saying, because it just feels like your DNA, right? Like, that's just like
so obvious.
It's like that calling you your name, like calling you Anna and calling you heart-centered are the same thing, right? So if you're feeling like stressed about this, like, it's not going to feel like, oh my God,
a huge epiphany.
That's my special special thing. It's going to feel like, well, does everybody
Is
really
that
think
special?
that's special?
Is that even special?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
When I started working on content, I remember my coach at the time saying to me, oh my God, you're so good at that. It's so easy for you. It's so amazing. And I said to her, well, I would never pay anyone to help me with that. Why would anyone pay me? And she was like,
because you're good at it.
That's the entire point.
Yeah.
People are paying you for the thing you're really good at. And so whatever that thing is for you, don't wait for that light bulb epiphany or whatever. It's going to feel like, oh, but that's just who I am and how I show up in the world. Mm-hmm. And that's actually when you found your thing.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I think there is pressure for it to feel like magic, and it kind of does. It kind of does, but it's almost along the journey.
Yeah.
Right? Along the journey of okay, fine, I'll claim this as my thing because it's kind of already my thing. And then as I live it out and I get confirmation and I start to meld my business around this, it feels good. And I'm helping
absolutely.
So it's almost along the process that the spark feels good.
Yes, it feels like truth, and it feels like you're living your truth. It doesn't feel like you're having an aha every day about why you're special. It just feels like you're actually living it, right?
Yes. Yay. Thank you. Well, thank you for giving us your insights. I feel like I have stuff to think about even after this interview.
Yes. And it's so good that we got to do this together.
I know, and thank you for joining us, not in the airport, but at a park. And I will put the link to Lacey's group and challenge in case you want to follow over. But thank you for being here with us, and we'll be back next week at 10 a.m. PST, actually for the next 5 weeks. So I hope you keep